Hi.
Did you just put me on here?
Yes,
We
I
didn't
did,
play
man.
intro or anything.
Oh, well, do your intro, man. It said live about 2 minutes ago.
I know. I was trying to set up. I couldn't find my stuff here for a second. Hold on one. Let me play this real
Yeah,
quick.
fine. That's okay. Hey, they can look. You look good tonight.
Thank you. I
You
had a
really
hard time
do.
finding all my stuff. We have loads to
Oh,
talk about tonight, though.
yeah, we do. So I sent Jay the link, and he'll be on in about 5, 6 minutes. Okay.
All right, I'll get us started.
Okay.
So, you know what the problem is? All of my videos are gone.
Are they really?
Yeah, like the
Go.
intro.
Oh shit. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
everything.
Cindy.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Gateway Podcast. I'm your host, CL Thomas. And yeah, all of my videos and things that I usually have stored in here have disappeared.
Did you
So,
go to? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
tonight, my guest is Shawn Kelly, and we're just having open lines. It's just CL Thomas and Shawn Kelly tonight. I didn't really want to have a guest. I did have one scheduled tonight. I rebooked him. It's Mike Ritzicker. He's always a great guest, but I just wasn't feeling it tonight. I love Mike, but I just wanted to do something different. You know, you ever have those feelings? You just want to do something different.
All the
So
time.
you just had a show, and it was about paranormal bullying.
Yes.
And I listened in a little bit. I'm not sure what happened, but I've been seeing stuff online. I'm trying to figure out where the banner is here so I can get this banner off of this. I've been seeing on the line on Facebook and things like that. Something's happening again, lo and behold, and it's always centered around the same guy. It seems like he's a major celebrity. He's always in the middle of all of this drama, and I guess there's some bullying going around centered around him. I don't know the whole story. I just kind of tuned it all out, but I just kind of get tired of, it's kind of killed the paranormal for me in a lot of ways. Like I'm this close to just kind of walking away from it.
Do you want to?
No, because I really like creating. I got some more books to put out, and I love the magazine. I just talked to a big person that's going to sponsor it. So that is coming back, by the way. Yeah, a huge sponsor is coming on board for that magazine. They own a ghost tour all across the country. Um,
Oh, I know. Oh, cool. I know who they
it's
are.
not the U.S. ghost tours; it's the haunted trolley tours. If you've heard of
Oh,
them,
really? That no, I
yeah.
haven't. Oh,
So we're
that's something
talking,
new. You just
but
threw you just threw a monkey wrench into my brain there.
yeah, it's been about. I had to, talk to them a little bit. Their owner and founder for that about what we could do for each other, and yeah, I'm kind of pivoting from paranormal into a different direction. Like it's still paranormal, but not like the Paracon paranormal. So
Oh, that is that's awesome. That really is,
yeah,
especially if you get a big time sponsor. But if you want to hear my opinion on Paracons, okay, it's a bunch of people who just want to make some money off of other people who are clueless on what's going on. It's like what I mean by that is that they probably charge an arm and a leg to get into this, and you're lucky you get to spend 5 minutes with these people that you are so adored to, and you probably have to pay $200 just to get a picture with these people,
yeah.
and it's just like all it is one big money grab. And
Mm-hmm.
when I started in 2006, I didn't want no money. You know, it wasn't about the money. To me, everything is about money, and who cares? I mean, the faster you get it, the more you get it. It goes out the freaking door. You know what I mean? So you
It's
can't,
kind of true.
you can't,
It's true, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, and you can't enjoy it. I mean, I never charge for an investigation. The only thing I charge for is when I did guest speakership at like community colleges. You know what I mean? Hey, Kara, you know, when I did speaking engagements, then I would, but not what like everybody else would charge. You know, there he is. There he is. Would you like to bring him on?
This is
Hey,
Jay
Jay.
Blackburn. So, Jay, I am so sorry, but you and I are just meeting each other for the first time, and I have no idea who you are.
Well, I stay kind of hidden.
Well, I do apologize. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Ain't no big problem. What would you like to know?
How did you get into this, first of all?
Well, same thing. Me and Shawn talked many, many times. Um, I was born and raised in Eastern Kentucky. Um, my family, always told stories about paranormal activity in Eastern Kentucky. It's all around. Um, so so that kind of intrigued me, and also, like I was telling Shawn, my mom's dad passed away in 1999. The day we buried him, that evening, uh, I was laying down and I saw a shadow figure that was his size, height, everything. And the strangest thing about it, I got tucked in, you know, and when I came to and I seen the shadow, it just turned around and walked off, no footsteps, anything. I was 18 years old, and being that young, seeing something like that, it kind of throws you off. Then a couple of years after that, that's when I really wanted to figure out what it was. And like I told John, it was like 2008, something like that. Me and my cousin, we went off and, started watching ghost hunters and stuff because my mom, she was watching it. And I came in, I seen her watching. I said, "What are you watching?" And she told me, and I saw all the stuff they was using, just regular old stuff. I'm like, huh, all right. So we went off and got that little handy cam, had night vision on it. So we just played around with it. And after that, me and my wife met up. She was, big into it too. So, we done, I was doing like little things. And then I pretty much took a break and we moved up to Pennsylvania. And I met Drake that was on the other side. And from there, I started getting, a couple of little recorders here and there and just little things. And one evening, I was looking for something, I guess some people call it a piece of paper, you know. So I was looking for like something like a business management class or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not really me. So I found this online school, and I sent it over to my wife, and she came back in. She looked at me and went, "That's you right there." So and I ended up getting this PhD through online, and it was a lot. But she, my wife, my late mother, my brother, my sister, everybody was right there for me. There was my rock, and I kept on going, and I finally achieved it.
That's good. So, did you plan on after you did all of this? Like, what was your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal with me doing this, for me, was achievement. You know, uh, I always wanted something, like some type of more education, and it just kept on going, and I keep on studying. Um, I like it when new people comes comes over to us, and they just want to know stuff. So I tell them, how I do stuff, and then most of them they would come out with me, especially on these like the public ones. They they would catch me in a room and I'm doing something, and they come right in and they love it. So pretty much it's more like me, like I said, being that mentor, that teacher with them.
Let me ask you this. Are you able to carry that into the paranormal field?
Yes, actually, I am. My doctrine's in under metaphysical science, but I specialize in paranormal science. So what I'm doing now, for probably like the past year, I've been. I don't know how you guys, see things, but I can't even believe in the whole multiverse theory, and I'm tying that together with all the paranormal activity with that. So, like, say, if I go to Greene County Historical Society or Penhorse, I went to Penhorse just back on Friday, and I asked, "Are we part of a, multiverse? Is it all around us? Is it like radio waves?" And I was getting confirmation that it really is.
Do you feel like, do you guys feel like we're advancing in the paranormal field at this point?
No. Are you talking about equipment wise?
No, well, that too. No, I mean, with like community and research, and are we actually getting anywhere with the paranormal, or is it just paracons and things like that? Is it just for entertainment, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask. Because you know what I mean?
I say yes. Jay, what do you think?
Like I said, like some other people, they want entertainment, and then I think, some of them, just like Shawn, the guys that was on the other show, I think they're really, starting to get into more of the scientific look at it. I've seen some people, start putting on Facebook like the same thing that I've been studying, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute now, I haven't started seeing this until I started mentioning that. So I was like, are these guys trying to follow me, or what's going on? But I just rub it off because I'm not going to be that guy, And if they are seeing it that way, good for them,
What does being scientific mean in this field exactly? I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Like, does that mean?
But you don't have your horns on. You don't have the horns on.
I don't mean with you, you specifically. I'm just saying, looking at the community, everyone's all of a sudden they're scientific, and they come with this equipment, and they're all dressed in black. They look like they just walked out of Hot Topic or something, and they're all standing there like this in their pictures. And is that really being scientific?
People like that, to me, no. I think it's more like an image than most of them.
Is that just a loose term that we're throwing around? I mean, to me, being scientific, like I follow the physician community quite a bit. That's the world I'm from. And so scientific to them means they'll write abstracts. They have symposiums. And I'm not talking about, pardon my language, a bullshit symposium, paracon, where, these guys get up and talk about whatever they're talking about. It's definitely not research, though. But, and they'll combine their studies, and they actually share it with each other. It's not like something that they have to hoard so that they can have that TV show. You know what I mean? That little piece of thing. That's not being scientific to me. It's just
how we got into the scientific seal was back in 2006 when I first started. Okay. We really didn't have a name for the people who used the equipment. Okay. So it was just a word that we put out there called the science side or the scientific side. Okay. I have not once seen a person go and do all kinds of, you, you know, the name is there, but I can't remember. But they try to do experiments. That's right, where they try to figure out how, you know, stuff is happening, and they just cannot find it. The experiments that they do or probably do don't give them no results. And if there's no results, and then to them, whatever they were investigating does not exist. Now, Jay, you're a demonologist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, the study of demons, and this is where, CL, if you don't mind if I ask Jay a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, being a demonologist, okay, the study of demons, do you do experiments to try to find out what demon is around? I'm not knocking you, but it's actually coming back to where you said, CL, about the scientific way. And Jay's a doctor, and I respect this man. I love this man. But I want to ask Jay, do you do experiments to find out what demon is around?
No, not really. It depends. Like I said, I'm not going around conjuring up a demon or nothing like that. If someone tells, like say, I get a phone call like tomorrow, and they say I got a demon in my house. All right, so like any researcher investigator, we're gonna go over there and we're gonna check it out, right? And from there, that's when I'll start doing all that. 9 times out of 10, it ain't no demon.
Yeah, that's what it usually is.
Yeah,
Because my theory on the demon would be is that once a demon got its claws into you, okay, you're done. You're done. So to me, when bad stuff happens to people, it's not a demon. It's just a really bad, nasty spirit in the house that's causing all this shit. But
yeah,
thanks to movies and thanks to TV, everybody thinks it's a demon.
yeah,
Oh, the satanic panic movement. And that's a really good point because paranormal, particularly in the last couple of years, have really taken that and used that as like a selling point over the last few years. It seems like every TV show for a while there was dealing with a demonic entity.
mhm,
Um, everything is named with demon in it because it sells. It's a really good point.
There's a there's a question for Jay.
It says, Cindy says, do you use discernment to recognize the demons?
you know, like I just said, uh, I haven't to this day really came across one, and like we all even agreed on, it's probably like a 0.01% that we were even come across one. Uh, in one of my studies, which I was telling, I done a talk a couple of years ago about it. There was a demonologist by the name, I believe, Dr. Richard Gallagher, I believe, and he went on. He was a demonologist for like 25 years, and he went, on these alleged demonic cases. I think there's like 25,000 that he done within those 25 years, and I think he only came across maybe five.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I really don't think in my lifetime I'll come across one.
Kara says, I think it was ZB. We all know who that was really bad about labeling everything a demon.
Yes.
I got so tired of it,
Yes.
I quit watching.
Yeah.
Cindy says, I've never understood why when you pass, you would think you would be filled with love. That's a good comment.
I don't know, guys. I just feel like paranormal needs to kind of shift a little bit into a different direction. And, you know, all of the bullying that's going on, there's a lot of policing out there right now. We all have different opinions. Like demonology, that's a very Christian based idea of the paranormal world, and that's very popular. But there's a large portion of people who really don't believe that portion of it. You know, they may be Wiccan, they may be of a different religious background, they might be Jewish, they might be, you know what I mean? It goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you address that in the paranormal field?
John?
Can you repeat that, please? I tried to, you lost me after the third word. Can you, my mind went out there somewhere. Can you please repeat that question?
Yeah. So demonology is very big. There's always a class on demonology in every single paranormal that you attend. There's nothing against that, but it's a very Christian based ideal.
Mm-hmm.
So Judaism believe that. Wiccans, for the most part, don't believe it. So how do you address in the paranormal when you're on a case or something? Say that person is from a different religious background, they just don't believe in demons. Like, how do you address it?
Okay, how do I address it? I just like tell them it's like a really nasty spirit that lived here, and it's you know what I mean. I do not tell them that they're a demon because, to be honest with you, like Jay said, you know, on an investigation at a bad place, 0.1% is not it that it isn't or is a demon, you know, and it's just like, so we just say it's an evil, it's an angry spirit that's really pissed off that they're causing all this stuff is what we do. But I will tell you this, when I first got into the paranormal, I studied other religions. So I knew if I was going to a person or a house that was different than Catholicism, right? I would kind of have a ballpark thing on how they deal with spirits.
Well, how do you guys, what do you guys feel about what's being portrayed on some of these TV shows and things?
Jay?
Like, I'll give you an example, like the medium that is always faced with some kind of demonic being, where when you watch the show, the whole thing becomes more about himself than the family that's being attacked. Does that make sense?
Okay.
The question.
Yeah. Something like that. Yet again, I have to go back. Them wanting ratings, more people watching, more money he's gonna bring in, and a lot of people's fascinated with the way these shows is turning out to be. You know, instead of like regular investigating, they're chasing demons now.
And it almost becomes like a mission, like their whole storyline for their acting job, I call them actors, is the demon chaser or something.
There is not one paranormal show that I have watched that I have respect for none of them. I don't. I mean, they make a mockery out of it. And this was way back, you know, when Taps was going on. And, you know, I watched some Taps and then all of a sudden I just couldn't watch it no more. because I just shook my head. Okay, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why don't you be normal? Why don't you just do a regular investigation? And just, you don't get nothing, you don't get nothing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I just lost all respect for the TV shows. Now, I ran Raw Fair there for a while, okay? And okay, the second show that we aired, we filmed an hour of an investigation and we didn't get no evidence, but we still put it out to show people, okay, to show people that not all investigations you get something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is usually
that,
how it is.
What's that?
Which is how it is the majority of the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Think about it, CL. It takes a person to go on an investigation, go into a room, no lights, sitting on the floor, talking to something that might not be there. You know what I mean? I remember back when we first started, oh boy, everybody was into this paranormal. Everybody wanted to go on an investigation. And when they found out this is what we do, they never came back.
Yeah.
They never came back.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was boring.
Somewhere along the way, though, I think the transition happened when all of a sudden everybody could be a content creator. And so the scientific side and the wanting to know what's out there kind of went to the wayside to create content for things like YouTube and whatever else they think they're going to make money on, right?
Right.
So that's what it's all about now. And with that comes like the entire bullying. So now we have all of these different gatekeepers that are trying to discredit somebody else at every turn. You can post, like you said in your last show, you can post a Norb and you'll have 5 different teams just come on there and be total jerks about it.
Yeah. And it took me a while to learn that lesson. I don't know about you, Jay, but it took me a while to where I said, well, the hell, y'all, I don't have to post nothing no more. That's the truth.
Yeah,
I don't have to prove it.
I had, we played a prank on one of the guys that goes out with us. We was at the Greene County Historical Society, and Matt, the one that's like, I guess he called him the director of it. And he told us there's a crawl space in the basement. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know, that's pretty tight. I'm a big guy. I don't think I could fit in that. And the old boy turned around and just looks, I'll do it. I'm like, all right, man. So he put a pair of coveralls on. He crawled himself up through there, and we was laughing and carrying on. He get like halfway, and he ducked into the corner by himself. He had equipment with him. And Matt turned around and looked at me and went, Jay, we can go on the other side and bring somebody in, and we can just absolutely just get him. And his little brother turned around and looks at, I'll go do it. So he took him up there. Me and the other guy's wife, we was over there. We're holding our phones. We're trying not to laugh, and he's, all of a sudden you hear him holler out, guys, there's something moving on the other side. We're trying not to laugh. We was dying. And all of a sudden, here comes his brother. He scared him half to death. It was so funny. So I was like, yeah, that's got to go on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, funny stuff like that, I'll put up,
Yeah, absolutely. But when it comes up to being something serious, I don't. And everybody knows who I am now. And if I think it's a legitimate picture, I'm putting it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like, oh, I'm afraid somebody's gonna say something to me. No, I don't give a shit no more. I put it up if I think it's legit. Okay. Now, the second thing is you have a lot of people out there that will take a picture or get an EVP and they will try to manipulate it
Yeah.
to make it look like something or sound
Mhm.
like something.
Yep.
And you can tell, Jay knows, then you can tell that when somebody manipulates an EVP, you can just tell.
Hmm.
And I look at them, I said, you know what, just throw that away. I don't even want to hear it because I know
Yep.
it's manipulated.
I don't even want to
Yeah,
hear it.
I
You
don't
know,
want to hear it.
I have I was in Rhyolite. It's a ghost town. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rhyolite. It's this little ghost town about an hour outside of Las Vegas. Nobody lives there. There's no light sources or anything going to this town. And it's a great spot to take nighttime photography. I love doing nighttime photography. And so I'm out there one night. I'm in the middle of the town and I have my camera set up on top of the car. And in the background, like I'm filming this giant moon coming up. That's what I was filming. Was that against the gal? It's a really cool photo. But behind me is this old school. It's a 2-story school, and part of the wall is caved in, and it's like right up against another mountain. So there's no roads or anything behind there. It's just pitch black mountain. And I saw this light kind of, it was about this big, just kind of floating around, and it was flickering. And I saw it for just like a couple of seconds. And I realized what I saw, and I was like, that's pretty weird. There's nobody up there. Um, so then I saw it again. I went back to what I was doing. I saw it again. So I pull out my phone and I start filming this. I start filming in hopes that it would happen again. And sure enough, it did. And every time it would happen, it would like move throughout the building. So it'd be like on the second floor, but there's no floor there anymore because it all caved in. But what would have been the second floor, it was up there. And then it was kind of like outside of the building. And then it was like inside. It happened about 3 or 4 times. And I'm sitting there watching it. And on the video, I actually caught this on a video. It looks like a lantern, like one of an old lantern that would
Okay.
lit and
Oh, okay.
kind of walking around.
Like a miner, like a
Yeah.
miner's
Hmm.
lantern. Okay.
But I thought about posting that, and if I did though, that people would just ridicule it and say, "Oh, it's a car in the background." There's no cars there. Like I feel like nowadays, either the evidence is just for you can't really share it anymore. There's no intelligent conversations going on anymore about evidence being found.
Yep.
It's all about the money.
Yep.
So if it's not going to give, if I get a good picture and if I'm not going to get no money out of it, then the hell with y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The hell with y'all. And but it people like there was like a number one rule back in 2006 when I started this was you do not charge people for an investigation. You just don't do it.
Yep.
You do it for free. Or like I used to say, people say, well, how much do you charge? And I say, well, if you can supply us with donuts and coffee and maybe some unsweetened iced tea, then I think we got the job done for you. You know what I mean? So, but when it came down to monies, you just didn't charge. And then we had a group back there that was charging, and they quit charging because there was a bunch of us that told them that no, you cannot charge. It's to help people. This is what the paranormal societies, the investigation was supposed to do, was to help people explain why stuff is happening in your home and what is the spirit that is causing this and what can we do about it. That's what paranormal investigation is all about. Nothing more, nothing less. Like how if I am gonna if I'm gonna go out and spend $20,000 on equipment, and I know people who have, I know people who did. No way. I'll be like, I'm going to Ireland for 20,000. I'm going to Ireland. I'll hunt my ghosts over there. Yeah. Or spend a month over in Ireland.
Yeah.
Cindy has something. Cindy says this for you, CL.
She says that she saw something similar in a building without power on it. Looks like an old fuel light or lantern. That's exactly Cindy what I saw. Back in the turn of the century, the miners around Rhyolite, and they found these things up around the hills and things. So we have actual artifacts that this light could have been, and it would have gone like on their helmet, or it was a handheld. There's two different kind, and it's just a little oil lamp kind of deal that they would have, and it flickers. It's like a flame that flickers, and they would put it in like a little tin. Like the lantern is like a little tin that kind of faces out like this so that the light shines off to flash forward. I'm not explaining it very well, but if I'll post a picture of what I'm talking about later on today. I'll try to find an artifact of one of these old lanterns. But when they're in the mines and stuff, that light flickered, and it would have illuminated because they didn't have flashlights back then. So this was kind of like their version of a flashlight. And they would use like old cans to create these things. And I've actually found one of those old cans that used to be one of these lights. But yeah, it flickers like a lantern, and that's exactly what I saw that night. And there's nothing else out there that could have caused that. It was a really interesting night.
Yeah, really.
That is kind of interesting. Now, something like that, there's a bike trail down here, and there's a bike trail down in McKeesport. I forget which one it was called. But we did an investigation down there one time where we walked the bike trail, which was the best investigation ever. And we saw lanterns, and I'm not saying just one. We actually saw lanterns, like 5 or 6 of them, walking the path toward us. And there was nobody there holding the lanterns.
That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Somebody's asking what a woo-woo is. Do you mean like woo-woo as in spirit work?
Don't know. I don't know what woo is.
I'm pretty sure that means somebody that's into gemstones, the spiritual qualities of gemstones and different elements and things like that. Angels can be considered woo-woo.
Okay. Huh. And I've been to Rhyolite a few times, and I can back up what CL is saying. That's cool.
Yes, Kimberly knows exactly what I'm talking. She probably even knows the school I'm talking about, the 2-story school building that's out there.
You too, face to face.
Back up against a big giant mountain, and there's nothing behind there. It's miles and miles of just empty. It's like one of the darkest places in the United States, which is why night photography is so great there.
Thank you, face to face. Thank you. I don't know. No more bullying. Let's all have a big party.
Yeah, you just get. I've experienced it a lot, even in the Vegas area, where people will claim territories. I'll give you a story about bullying. It might not be outward bullying, but it's definitely passive aggressive bullying. There's a group that goes to Virginia City twice a year. They do like their an event. They have like a 2-hour investigation each night, and they have the same speaker, mind you, speak and give his spiel one night. It's like a meet and greet kind of thing. And because they have this this group and this event, they try to deter other people from having events there. And they try their hardest to stop any event from happening there. And there was another lady from Australia who wanted to have more of like the historical paranormal stuff. She planned this entire event for historians to speak about the paranormal there. And I was a speaker. There was a couple other people who were going to be speaking at this thing. And what we were planning on doing was we were going to have like a small investigation, nothing, grand or anything like that. But we were more going into like the historical elements and like the spirits that people claim to see there. We were going to go into the historical aspects of those spirits. This one person who leads this group that meets there every other year, she completely put a stop to the event. I mean, it's just passive aggressive because again, they're afraid of you might take $1 out of their pocket. What's the point of that? You don't own a location.
Exactly.
No location is yours.
Exactly on that one.
Investigate. So it's
Well,
just not ridiculous.
Well, think about it, right? Eastern Penitentiary, okay? When it was big, I don't know what it's like now, but at the time when we were going full blown, it cost you $2,500 to investigate overnight. Okay. And in order to cut the cost down, you had to get 100 people in order to investigate. And you couldn't do it because there's so many people there that you just couldn't do it. And you know why Eastern Penn charged so much? Because Taps did a show down there. That's why. All these places that you see that on TV, that's why they charge the groups like thousands of dollars to go to. We can't afford it, but people want to go there because they saw this shit on some ghost show, and they're going to go down there and they're going to try to find it. You know what blows my freaking mind? I'll tell you what blows my freaking mind is that people have to act so damn serious on an investigation. Seriously. I'm not bullshitting you on that. They have to, everything, some groups I have known are very regimental. You were stuck in a room for 30 minutes. You had to get permission to go to the bathroom. Yeah. No shit.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. That was back, but it was TAP's family member rules. That's why.
Did I see correctly in the news that that penitentiary is going to be torn down to make way for a data center?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Or is that a different location I'm thinking of?
Might have been a different. I haven't heard. Eastern Penn's making so much freaking money on other people going there to investigate. Why would they want to knock it down? You know what I mean? Now, I would have to say there's one place that I go to which I will spend, and which is, it's decent. I mean, you don't have to take out a loan out of your house to go to it, but it's called Prospect Place, and it's down in Trimway, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do with the money that they get from the investigations, and the people who do the tours, they took the depleted freaking mansion built in 1903, and they restored the whole thing like it was back in 1903. They restored it. They did not pocket money at all. And I will go and I will pay money to go to a place like that, but you're going to go and, go to a place and where they're taking your money and you're not even, they just spend the money. You know what I mean?
Has that Eastern Penitentiary, has that been remodeled at all?
No.
Or not remodeled,
I don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about.
But exactly, Kimberly. True. It is awful, extremely. But no, the way it's a money grab for, I guess, Eastern Penn and whatever county it's in or whatever city it's in, because look at all the money that they take in over there. You know what I mean? There's a ton of money. coming from there. Look at the battleship North Carolina, how they do investigations down there. I was in the Navy, and they make so many freaking noises. It's unbelievable. You know, a ship makes a ton of noises. You couldn't have a good investigation down there. No. Now, my brother, on the other hand, he was on the USS Constitution up in Boston. He was stationed on it. And he said there's a lot of ghost stuff on there. But they won't let you investigate it because it's still considered a United States naval ship.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Well, you know, it's just that you said it earlier. Just look in your own backyard. There's no reason that you should be paying $400 or $500 to investigate with anyone, honestly, or any place. There's ghosts everywhere. It's not
Right.
just at Goldfield Hotel or wherever. It's everywhere. There's spirits everywhere.
Exactly. I used to tell people I don't have to go and pay money to go to Eastern Penn where I can go to your house and I bet you I can find 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You
exactly.
Jay,
Yep.
I have a question for you. Have people ever created their own demons?
Now, here's my philosophy. You know, I believe that people can actually manifest like their own demons. You know, like what's that one? The Slender Man. You know, I caught a glimpse of this. What is that? Paranormal on TV or caught on camera or something like that. And on the video, it showed this big tall guy. And I'm like, I think it's kind of fake, but can they actually, manifest, our own spirit or demon? Yeah, I believe we can. I believe the human mind can actually could create its own entity to follow them around.
May I answer that too,
Sure.
please? Please? Pretty please? Sugar on top?
No, Kelly. No, you can't do it.
Okay, sorry. No. When I was in my prime at investigating, the universe hooked me up with somebody who taught me a lot. Okay, and yes, you can make your own demon. Okay, if you are a very angry person, if you have so many negative energies coming off you all the time, that energy that leaves you when you're getting angry and stuff like that, it makes a blob right next to you. It has a heart, okay, but that is it. And a lot of people who are very, very, very negative and all that crap that build this blob, okay, it sticks with them forever. And you can have the best. I mean, angels couldn't get rid of that thing, and that's the truth. Because the more anger that you put out, the more that blob is going to manifest. It's just going to get bigger, and it's true. So don't be angry.
Now, is that different than a topa?
What's
Or is
that?
that thing? Is that the same as a topa, or is that something different?
What's a topa?
That's what it's kind of like you create your own ghosts. Like, okay, for instance, everyone says that the Bell Witch Cave is haunted. So every time someone goes in there, they all experience something similar. It's a topa effect where everyone believes that haunting, and so they go in, and sure enough, that's what they're going to experience.
Yes, that I've seen that happen. I've seen people do that, but what I told you was that's real. That energy hangs around you and it don't go nowhere.
Do you have an opinion, Jay?
I agree with him. Yeah.
He's like, no, it's just getting too late.
No, I mean, that's a really good concept. I mean, I was reading this one about from Heidi here, pretty much with a collective conscience that, we can really bring something forth. And like Shawn said, with someone being negative and angry all the time, they get this sludge.
Yeah.
And it's just nasty. It just grows, grudge, and it just grows. And and like you said, don't be angry. And that was one of the things. The job I was at, like right before I done all my studying and stuff with the whole metaphysics, I was quite often angry because people just aggravated me. I had so much I had to do, and people wouldn't leave me alone. It just got real bad. And then once I started going over it, studying it, and all that, I was like, wait a minute, something's not, it's starting to warp now.
Yep.
And it taught me how to release all that stuff that I just built it up. And now everybody sees a different me now. And I'm not the same one I was 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's exactly where I'm at now. But it was a little bit longer. I would say back in 2020 is when I started to calm down. You know what I mean? And I'm such a, quiet person,
Yeah.
and I'm just a loving and caring person now that, and I'm glad I did, because what my problem was that I had a massive amount of ego. I did. I had more ego than you. I mean, gosh, I had so much ego. And then one day somebody put me in my place on it. And after that, boom, that was it. I just accepted the fact, yeah, this is what I do. This is what we pick up. And yes, these are the people that I help, and just go.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good comments tonight on all of this. We kind of jumped around quite a bit, but
That's good.
thank you guys for coming on. I think we're just about out of
you're
time.
welcome. Well, you know where I'm at if you ever need me again, and you know where Jay's at if you need us again,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might have more open chats like this.
That's the way to go. It is. I love it. I love open chats.
Kind of get out of the usual that I do.
Okay.
I like it when, like on Saturday nights at 7 p.m., me, Joe, and Jay, we have the chat. It's from 7 to 10 p.m., okay? And we talk about everything and anything. You know what I mean? We don't talk political. We don't talk what's going on in outer space. We don't. I try to avoid Star Wars when they start talking about Star Wars. I just keep my mouth shut. But no. But having an open chat just like this, with three people who know what they're talking about, who three people can accept each other's
opinions.
Opinions. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've lost, and this isn't just the paranormal world, but this is society as a whole. We've really lost the ability to debate with one another and to disagree. We're so quick to put everybody a permanent block or whatever just because you disagree with somebody.
Right. A good debate is a good debate. Yep. You know what I mean? And usually when you debate somebody, you learn something from that person you're debating.
Mm-hmm. It's so true.
What I mean? To me, a debate is like opening your mind. Now, I have all the utmost respect for Jay, okay? I have a problem with demonologists. But I'm sure that me and him could sit down and talk about it, it's not like I knock him being a demonologist. It's just there's some things maybe I'm the one that don't really understand what a demonologist is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, so I am willing to learn from Jay what a demonologist is, and maybe it will give me a better concept on what I'm missing. So I
I
have a
don't
little
have
bit.
a problem with demonologists. I have a problem with the way they're portrayed on some of these TV shows. And you know what? I'm going to start playing those clips from some of these TV shows and calling it out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start. I have.
Let's do it, man.
I
Let's do it.
I don't know if I can be sued for that. Maybe I'll blur out their faces and
You
stuff.
could no, you can get sued. You can't. You can get sued. Hell, we get every time we play a song on Saturday or Friday night, we always get we always get a check mark from YouTube.
I'm going to start playing little clips of these shows though, like and blur out their faces and stuff, and just be like, you know what, this isn't it. This is not how it's.
If you want my honest opinion, I would rather, if I really had to deal with a demonologist, I would deal with Jay because he's so upfront and he's honest, and that's the truth, hands down.
We're all out of time, Jay. I'm going to have you back on the show if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Back on. I'd love to have you back on just to talk about demonology and the ins and outs.
That'd be great. He'd be a great guest. Oh my God, yeah. Jay, thank you, brother. It's been a wonderful evening.
Oh yeah, exactly. I like
but one day, sir, one day I would like to sit down and talk to you over coffee, and you can explain to me about demonology. I would appreciate that.
We can sure do it, John. You just name the day. I'll make it happen.
Shawn, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Oh my God. Heidi said we had a great show here. That was a great show.
Yeah,
Thank you, Heidi.
I don't know.
And Kimberly, she gave us a bunch of hearts. You too have a good evening, Miss Kimberly Horn. Thank you.
It's I'm kind of I don't know. I'm not disheartened. I'm just kind of bored with the paranormal, the way everything is.
It is boring. It is.
So
it is.
Time to change things up a little bit as usual, but
and that's okay.
It is what it is. You're always going to have these freak shows out there who thinks they're running the entire show for cash or whatever. But
absolutely. Thank you for having me on, dear.
You're welcome. You've been listening to The Gateway, broadcast from the bluffs of the Rockies, where the strange slips through the cracks, live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM, New Orleans. I want to thank my guests, Dr. Jay Blackburn, and radio host, Shawn Kelly. As we just chit-chat about the paranormal and the state of the paranormal as it is today. Thank you all for listening.
Much love to you, Heidi. Go ahead, I'm sorry.